Once upon a time, there was a man in a hurry. So he ran and he ran and he ran. No need to run. Go by train. Unfortunately, the train didn't stop at his station. All right then, try the bus. And when his turn came, sorry, pull up. Now what to do? Wait for the next bus? For the man in a hurry, for the man who wanted to get somewhere, the problem was a real one. And then he made a discovery, the bicycle. Here at last was the solution to his problem. A simple, practical, efficient, always available form of transport, the bicycle. Riding high, riding free, master of your own fate. This is the way to travel.
story now is clear to me. I see where lies the blame, and when the jury does declare, I think they'll find the same. Now, foreman of the jury, speak. Your verdict I will note.
The boy is guilty, please, my lad. By a majority vote.
We find you guilty, and I say you shall no longer ride. For 2 long years you'll have to walk. Take that poor thing outside.
Augustus Winthrop, the world's oldest living cyclist, is going to turn a corner. I do hope there are plenty of young cyclists watching this. What a lot they can learn. And now he's looking behind him. Nothing too close. He makes a signal. No doubt about that one. Absolutely clear what he's going to do. And now he moves to the center of the road. He's stopped at the junction, waiting for traffic. Now a watchful eye all round. He signals again, and he's off. A classic right-hand turn. Every movement absolutely perfect. That must be why he's stayed alive so long.
morning now I'm awake before the alarm. Bad sign, that. Never used to be like that. I lie here worrying. What about? Developing sense of responsibility, says Tuffin. The longer I lie here, the worse it gets. You can hear people outside doing things. Downstairs. Never look worried. Like rig there, on the dot as usual. Punctuality is a virtue. Get yourself into a deep enough punctual rut, then you don't have to think, so you don't worry. Listen to her downstairs. Oh, shut up, shut up.
Jolene, I won't tell you again.
1. 2.
Jolene!
3. God, it's cold.
on platform 5 will be the cyclist special excursion to Rugby. Will passengers travelling on this train please go to the rear end of the platform?
Rugby? Who wants to go to Rugby? Well, wouldn't you like a day touring in wooded Warwickshire, or sturdy Leicestershire, or historic Northamptonshire? All right then, Rugby's the place to start from. What about their bikes? That's easy.
Just take some of the cycle vans from the runs to the continental ports and put them in those. A properly equipped touring cycle can be quite an expensive piece of machinery. So what do the railways do? They hang it on a rubber-covered hook. And quite right, too, because after careful investigation, the Cycle Touring Commission of the International Touring Alliance decided that this was the way to carry cycles by train. People, as soon as they get anywhere near a railway, are suddenly attacked by pangs of insatiable hunger or unquenchable thirst, or both. Especially if they've been up since 7 o'clock. Especially on a Sunday morning. Especially if they're cyclists. We've travelled to Rugby, toured through parts of Warwickshire, Northamptonshire, Leicestershire, history and the British character. And now we're going back home, all in one day. But that's the sort of thing that happens on these excursions. You can go farther and see countryside that you'd never normally touch in a day's outing. And on the way back, you can enjoy it all over again by talking about it, or dreaming about it.
sports that there are, I never thought that I should become interested in cycling. It's a sport that doesn't draw tremendous crowds, but those who do follow it do so with an enthusiasm that is quite catching, so that I found it exciting to watch and was soon able to pick my own star to cheer for. This is how I came to know a young cyclist busy trying to reach the top class of the sport and building up his stamina with road work. This road work often takes him past one of those quiet country corners which you can still find near London. This is a favorite spot of mine, and now when Harry passes, he stops to talk a while. During our talks, I learned that Harry is a true amateur. He doesn't make any money from his children's sport. Indeed, he has to meet his own expenses. So of course he has to earn his own living. But his work is intimately connected with cycling because he helps his father, who has a cycle shop and a small workshop which makes special racing bicycles for special customers. Harry suggested that I might like to come and see where he works. One of the first things he did when I had located the shop was to take me up the stairs to show me some of the cycles and equipment that he and his father had made for famous cyclists. He is particularly proud of the fact that they have made machines which have taken part in the great touring races. In these international events, in which Commonwealth teams take part, the competitors have to cover 1,400 miles in a fortnight. He went on to show me that the cycles which are used in this class of competition have some special features. Lightweight wheels and tires which can be peeled off if they puncture. I can think of many occasions when I'd have been glad of one like that. While we had been talking, I had been busy sketching, and I was beginning to feel that I was getting close to a likeness of Harry. Our conversation switched again to racing, and the medals and trophies Harry had already won. He reminded me that later that day, I was to go along to the cycle track to watch him put in some practice laps as a warm-up for a race that evening. I was trying my hand at catching one or two action studies, and at one of the changeovers, Harry peeled off and came across to see what progress I was making. For me, I was not only pleased with my sketches, but that I had chosen a winner as my subject.
This is a Morley CC Film Unit production, bringing to you the British Cyclocross Championship of 1962. But first of all, we're here at the start of the women's event, a preliminary event run on the short lap of the championship course on this classic circuit at Tingley. You see them away now. Beryl Burton, Morley CC's world champion, along with Valerie Rushworth, another national champion of the Moncton CC. And as they got the hill towards Dunningley Lane, it's Valerie Rushworth who is leading from Beryl Burton. The race is of a duration of 4.5 miles, approximately, over this very rough course. There's Beryl was taking up the lead from Valerie. As you see her climb over the wall, she enters into the field and makes her way towards the stream, down the hill. And there's Valerie Rushworth strongly challenging Beryl for second position. And there goes Pauline. If she carries on like that, I'm afraid the bicycle won't last very much longer. There's Beryl coming towards the finish. She must be the winner of this event, and it follows the pattern which is usually set by this brilliant woman cyclist. Now here comes Beryl towards the finish. Yes, Beryl Burton of Morley CC is the winner, and she doesn't seem at all perturbed.
Eyebrows upwards to the heavens when she said she rode a bike. Beryl Burton, local hero, never called her just a wife. Rhubarb farmer, record breaker, leaving all the boys behind. Sweetly does it, consolation, oh I'm sure they won't mind. Come along, Beryl, stop your knitting. Noted ever stand in her way. Hard as nails and inspiration, her spirit will never fade away.
Morning, George. Morning, Charles.
Morning. Now, suppose, just suppose, you fall off your bike. Suppose your brakes give out.
Ambulance?
Ambulance. Ambulance.
Look again at this dangerous cyclist.
Ambulance.
Phew, glad that's over.
A decade ago, some scientists could say space flight is unthinkable. Now, giant radio dishes send and receive television pictures by means of satellites in outer space. The specialist who told this man his heart was too weak and he would never walk again could not know how soon research would produce an answer. Now, a few years later, only an occasional checkup is needed to ensure that his heart is beating regularly. The control is electronic. A wire goes up the artery, is looped just under the skin of his neck, and connects to a control unit buried under the armpit. The control is electronic. The control is electronic. Electronic. The control is electronic. Electronic. His heart is beating regularly. His heart is beating regularly.